Disney's Aladdin, The Desert Race. Jasmine and Aladdin were strolling across the palace grounds one evening when the Sultan ran out onto the balcony. "Drat!" the Sultan cried. "Oh, drat, drat, drat! That dratted desert race!" Jasmine was surprised. Usually her father loved the desert race. Every year the best riders from Zagrabah competed against those of the neighbouring kingdom of Zagrabah. The fastest horse and rider were awarded the prized Golden Palm Trophy. "What's the matter, father?" Jasmine asked. The Sultan shook his head sadly. "I just heard that Prince Fayiz will be riding for Zagrabah again. His horse is so fast he's won the race the last 3 years in a row." "I have an idea, father," Jasmine said eagerly. "I could ride Midnight in the desert race this year. He's the fastest horse in Zagrabah." "Oh dear me, no!" The Sultan looked shocked at the very suggestion. "The desert race can be dangerous. I won't have my daughter risking her neck like that." "How about if I ride Midnight in the race?" Aladdin spoke up. The Sultan's face brightened immediately. "What a splendid idea!" he cried. "You'll have such fun, my boy." The next day Aladdin and Jasmine went to the stables. As soon as Aladdin was on Midnight, the horse threw him. Nobody but Jasmine had ever ridden him. "Let me help," said the princess. Midnight gave her no trouble, as usual. The horse was ready to go. Aladdin swung onto Midnight's back, but the horse still didn't want to cooperate. He kicked up his heels and sent Aladdin flying. Aladdin brushed himself off. "Here, let me try," Jasmine said. She easily climbed into the saddle. Midnight happily carried her around the stable yard, doing everything she asked. "Sorry," Jasmine told Aladdin. "I guess Midnight is a one-person horse." "Now how are we supposed to win that trophy back?" the Sultan asked. "Let me ride in the race, father," Jasmine urged. The Sultan didn't seem to hear her. "Perhaps we can find Aladdin another fast horse." He didn't look hopeful, though. "Don't worry," Aladdin said. "I'll think of something." The day of the race arrived. Riders from Zagrabah paraded into Zagrabah. Fayiz rode in on his impressive white stallion, Desert Warrior. "I don't know why we bothered to bring the Golden Palm Trophy," Fayiz announced haughtily. "We'll only have to carry it back to Zagrabah later." Fans from both kingdoms gathered to watch the race. Soon the riders took their places at the starting line. The Sultan looked at Aladdin. "What an odd-looking horse that boy is riding. I wonder why I've never seen it before." But he didn't have time to worry about that. "Now where is Jasmine?" he wondered. "It's time to start the race." The princess was nowhere to be found. "We can't wait any longer, I suppose." The Sultan raised a flag to signal the start of the race. 1, 2, 3, and they're off! The riders galloped into the desert. A black horse with a mysterious veiled rider took the lead right away. As soon as they were out of view of the palace, the rider threw off the veil. It was Jasmine. "I do hate going against father's wishes," she whispered to Midnight. "But I just had to prove that you were the fastest." Aladdin was curious about the rider on the black horse. "Jasmine!" he gasped when he saw her. Just then his horse spotted the cool, inviting water of an oasis. "Now that's more like it!" exclaimed the horse. Except the horse was actually the genie. He jumped into the water and took the shape of a seahorse. "Hey, this wasn't part of the plan," Aladdin cried. "Don't worry, Al," the genie said. "We'll catch up. Gotta stay hydrated, you know." On land, Jasmine and Midnight galloped off without a backward glance. Fayiz and the Desert Warrior were starting to catch up. They were shocked when they saw the princess. Fayiz didn't want to lose to her. Jasmine urged Midnight on, but the other horse was very fast. Finally, Desert Warrior pulled ahead. "Give up now," Fayiz shouted. "That trophy will always belong to Zagrabah." But Midnight wasn't finished yet. He surged forward again and passed Desert Warrior. "Not so fast," Jasmine called to Fayiz with a laugh. "That trophy is in Agrabah, and that's where it is going to stay." Fayiz and Warrior stayed on Midnight's heels until the horses had to jump a ditch that crossed the path. Midnight sailed over easily, but Warrior skidded to a stop. With the other team out of the running, it seemed there was nothing to keep Jasmine and Midnight from winning. But then the princess heard the sound of hoofbeats close behind her. "What?" she cried, looking back. It was Aladdin. Jasmine hadn't even known he was still in the race. Soon Aladdin and his mystery horse had caught up, and he and Jasmine were fighting for the lead. Jasmine was glad that the trophy would stay in Agrabah no matter which one of them won. But she really wanted to prove that Midnight was the fastest horse in the two kingdoms. She urged him on. The two horses were neck and neck as they neared the finish line. First Midnight pulled ahead a tiny bit, then Aladdin's horse did, but neither could keep the lead, and so the two horses crossed the finish line at the same time. As soon as Midnight slowed to a stop, Jasmine jumped off, gave her tired horse a hug and led him to the water trough. Then she walked over to Aladdin. "Congratulations," he said. "Same to you," Jasmine replied. "But where in the world did you find such a fast horse?" Aladdin looked at his horse, then he looked at his feet. That is..." He didn't seem to know what to say. "Surprise!" the genie cried, transforming back into his usual form. Jasmine gasped. "Genie, that was you!" "Sorry, princess," the genie said, winking. "We were just horsing around." Aladdin grinned sheepishly. "It was my idea. I couldn't bear the thought of Zagrabah winning again this year." "Oh dear," the Sultan said. "The rules state that it must be a horse and rider team, not a genie and rider team. I'm afraid this disqualifies you two from the race." Then he smiled. "And that means Jasmine and Midnight are the winners." Jasmine changed into a new outfit. At the award ceremony, she patted Midnight. Jasmine had always known her horse was fast, but she'd never imagined he could beat a genie. The end.